he was near and dear, but he pulls a very tough competitor in Aries. So let us see how this shakes down here today.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough one. I mean, we're super excited to see him on the show, but what a match to draw, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen Aries on a few of the Subversive matches, and he's kind of all over the place. We always see the Rotolos both in his corner. They're both here tonight, Cade and Ty, and they do a great job coaching him. Obviously, they train together, and you can see a lot of their style, I feel, reflected in his jiu-jitsu. You know, a lot of darces, a lot of, you know, when he's passing, stepping on the shins, like that kind of Rotolo-style passing. And just overall really well-rounded. Like, he seems to be very dangerous from everywhere.
You know what's great is you look over at Kenny's background. He also has an MMA background to him. But if you're Aries, when you train with the Rotolos, you have that too.
Yeah.
So normally that pressure that would kind of make most people wilt, not necessarily something I'm concerned about for Aries in this match.
Yeah, you can see Aries is playing a pretty calculated game there, going between the arm and the leg, right? So oftentimes really good knee shield players here, and half guard players. Oh, as I say though, Kenneth enters the legs himself, and he does have almost had a bit of a bite on the heel there. Now switches it to the inside rather than the outside. But Aries does a great job stepping over, rotating through, and coming back on top.
He's got an electric chair, and he did say this is one of his favorite moves.
Wow.
And he uses it for a sweep, but I think he's trying to hold on to it just to see if maybe he can just belly down on it. It's very difficult to make that turn into almost a banana split there, but does not quite get it. Will settle for kind of working from this almost half guard position. But I mean, again, you get traces of when someone tells you their favorite move is an electric chair, believe them.
There's a lot going on there, and honestly, you got to question a lot when someone tells you that's their favorite move. But you also know they're going to be exciting. Now, okay, I really want to tell you about the fish thing, but there's so much jiu-jitsu happening that I really don't want to not call the action. But and as I say that, we saw Aries almost on an armbar there. Stepped over, and again, Kenneth now reaching back, right, attacking right into the heel. He has to be careful, though. Aries had a couple great defenses, but maybe he baits this.
He might be.
I think he's baiting the lockdown, right, if he's looking to go into electric chairs.
Well, it's difficult in that, sometimes you may not see the most technical applied heel hook by Kenny, but what he makes up for in a lot is just he wants to send that heel hook. It's not just let's kind of gradually pressure it. I'm looking, he's trying to load up that shotgun. And right now he's dealing underneath from bottom. And I think the difficult part of this particular position is this is very, very comfortable for Aries. Again, very, very good at kind of getting this electric chair. He's not quite there, but you can see the beginnings of it. The first part is usually getting that underhook, but now it's a little bit pinned. So you get the impression he goes right back to it. It's good at spreading it up, and at the very least, even if you don't catch it, it can sometimes be worked as a sweep. Aries feels it out, and now both of these gentlemen maybe thinking about an opportunity for the leg attacks right back to standing up. And Kenny not wasting any time, wants to push into him. And let's just say that camera's not going to go anywhere, gentlemen. You will not be running into my property. Thank you.
So, okay, the fish thing.
Yeah.
Kenneth came over earlier today and wanted to tell me that he has a very unique diet where he blends up all sorts of fish, like sardines, herring, and he blends them up in his Ninja blender, okay? Not quite a Ninja Creamy-esque situation, but a blender nonetheless. And he then, with a little water, then he takes it like a shot and then has a chaser he follows it with, and does shot, chaser, shot, chaser. He does this every day for the last 2 or 3 years. He says that the way that he recovers and his ability, like his athleticism, the way that he feels he performs on the mat is completely unmatched. That all the nutrients that you could ever want, it's like the nature's best multivitamin, but you never get enough of those just eating them on a regular basis, and you can't get them from supplements, so you gotta blend up the fish and drink it every day.
I'm going to be
blended
honest,
sardines.
I'm going to take his word for it.
If he wins this match, I might give it a try. I know I just said that on recorded line. I might regret that later. But I might make that a thing. If he wins this match, I might have to.
I tend to like my fish in sushi form and baked if it is in the salmon region. But I can tell you this. I mean, he definitely looks great. And I will tell you this. A slight slip up in this occasional match here and there can be very costly, because that grip, if it gets replicated, it is tough to mitigate. They are starting them back with this kind of front headlock position, and you get the impression if Aries gets his way, he's going to be looking to try and finish here. Easier said than done. He does use it to come up on top.
But again, right back into
back
this
to the
electric chair
Yep.
setup. And I think that's really interesting with someone like Kenneth. He can go for heel hooks, but he's not really worried about the effectiveness of the technique because he really wants to be here.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes, you know, I use this technique a bit, and it can be a surprise. I just feel like it's going to be hard to catch Aries by surprise for that particular move, but it can be used as an effective sweep. I'm 100% behind that. I mean, you are seeing Kenny's, his corner come alive. Larry Stroud and Tyler Bernacki, who are both competing here tonight. I mean, very, very clearly screaming at him and letting him know he only has 1 minute to work. So you're seeing our referees push him back in. Aries goes for a guard pull, tries to elevate it, does for a split second. Now Baby opting. They're letting him know he's got 30 seconds to work.
Yeah, it's funny. Both of these corners are really lit up right now. We got the Rotolos, and then, like you said, Larry Stroud on the other side, and they're really, really pumped here. And you see the Rotolos telling Aris to actually stand up, and that was a risky frame on the shoulder because it opened up the back. But look, he rolls right through.
Yeah.
And both of these guys are really great at transitioning into submissions out of what seem to be bad positions for them, right? And that is a really, really important skill to be able to do.
Well,
it looked like they were counting down the time, and they got the time wrong.
Okay, they're slightly
the
off
10
on the time. It
seconds.
could have been maybe they allowed for a few seconds of readjustment, but it's like going to New York City and counting down the ball and saying, whoops, we had more time. It's not a new year yet, but the match does finish. Hands are raised, and you know, the audience is happy about it, and we'll see exactly how this plays out, but you know what? I can tell you this, though. The Rotolos are smiling pretty profusely.
Honestly, look, to me, there's no telling what the heck's going to happen with arm raise. I would not be. I am like kind of drawing a blank at this point. I feel like that was such a weird series of events, and there were so many threats that could be perceived as different levels of seriousness.
Yeah.
Because what looks extreme to one person, especially with some of those awkward submissions.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what the refs call that as.
Let's find out what they say.
These two competitors, one more round of applause. Your referee has made his decision. He's your winner, Kenneth Klein.
The win for Kenneth.
You know what? It's the aggression, it's the going out there.
And let's hear it one more
The
time for
electric chair king
Aries
is what it is.
Loynab.
You know, it's several electric chairs there, and Kenny goes over to greet the esteemed Ty.
Oh no.
and Cade.
Oh no. The fish. I did say. I did
did.
say if he won, I might consider the new fish recipe. I'm going to have to look into
We gotta
this.
make fun.